Hello there everyone, it's Lydia here, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of watercolour with the Layered Laurel stamp set from Alt & New. So this is a really pretty stamp set that you can layer up with your inks, but today I'm going to be using a little bit of a watercolour technique just to give it a different look, and I in fact didn't use all of the images that are supplied in the set for this one. So to start with, I'm going to be using a piece of watercolour cardstock. It's 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to be using a circle die just to draw around. So I'm doing it very, very gently with a pencil so I can rub it out later. I'm going to be using the small branch from the Layered Laurel set. So this is the one that I'm going to be using first. I'm going to ink this up using some Evergreen Bough in Distress ink, and I'm going to stamp it off onto some scratch paper first before I place it into place around my circle guideline. I am stamping it off because this is a better way to help get the no line colour watercolour technique look. If I had just stamped it down without stamping it off onto scratch paper first, the ink would have soaked into the paper and I wouldn't be able to move it around, so it's not going to work for the technique that I'm after today. So I'm just going to pop the third one into place. These seem to fit around the largest of the halftone circle nesting dies perfectly. I'm going to be using pine needles and a little bit of chipped Sapphire Distress inks to do my watercolouring. To do the watercolouring, all I'm doing is I'm adding some nice clean clear water along the images, and I'm then dropping in my colour. I did end up adding a bit of green to my clean water on the board and a little bit of blue just to help me out adding a little bit of the colour rather than it just being white when I popped it down. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just find that this helped me go a little bit quicker with colouring the images in rather than just having the clean clear water and then going over the whole image again. So I'm just doing this quickly on here. I have sped this up for you, so you didn't have to watch me for 10 minutes while I did this bit. So as you can see, I'm going over the image with a light green colour. I'm then dropping in the pine needles again into the places where I feel there would be more darkness, and I'm adding in some chipped sapphire because I do like a little bit of blue or cool tones to my leaves. So I'm adding in a second layer of the leaves. There are 3 extra layers, but I'm only choosing to use 1. Again, I'm stamping this up with Evergreen Bough Distress ink, and you just need to pop this into place on your laurel. Now, these don't need to be placed in a specific place, so you can play around with the placement with these. Just as long as you get the base of those leaves touching that branch, I feel that you are good to go with this one. Again, I am stamping the ink off before I pop it into place, so it gives you a really pale, faded look on the cardstock that you're working on. So this again will help you with the no line watercolour technique, so you're not going to get any nasty ink splotches on there. So I did find this one was a little bit, a little bit of a tricky one to place, but it's not really that tricky. It's just that I couldn't figure out where I wanted it to go. So for this one, I'm using Evergreen Bough and then a little bit of Peacock feathers. Again, I do like to add blue into my leaves. It gives a much cooler tone, and I'm a teal girl. I like little bits of teal and aqua in my images, so this is the way I'm popping it in with just a little bit of greenery on this card. So again, I'm doing the same technique as before. I'm wetting the images that are really light that we've just stamped, and then adding some colour into them with the Evergreen Bough and the Peacock feathers. I wanted these leaves to be lighter than the ones before. That's why I've chose some lighter shades of the same colour tones, so lighter tones of the same colours. Yep, that's it. So again, you can see I'm just adding these in. Also, I did add a couple of extra leaves in that weren't in the stamp. I felt that, my laurel wasn't as bushy as I wanted it to be, so I've added a couple more in. You can, if you wanted to, added another one of the leaf layers in. There are 2 more to choose from the stamp set, but I was just being a little bit lazy and I decided just to paint them in instead. The leaves are quite easy to paint in, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. I wanted to add some berries in, so I'm using some of the Shimmer mists from Alter New. I'm using the ruby red, and I find that this works really well. So you can actually use it as a watercolor, and it's going to give you a beautiful mica shine to it as well because of all the mica in there. So these berries are a little bit sparkly. They have kind of a gold tone to the sparkle in the ruby red ink. So I've added 3s and 2s just to mix and match it up a bit. For my center sentiment, I'm using the Peace on Earth stamp set from Alter New, and I have added some anti-static powder because I'm going to be using some embossing powder. So I'm just going to ink that up using some embossing ink and then just pop that down into place. I'm using the rose gold embossing powder from Alter New. This is one of my favorite embossing powders like ever, and it does really heat up really quickly, as you can see, and it's just so smooth and beautiful, and I just love the color. So I've done that so it's all nice and shiny and flat, and I'm going to add this onto a piece of foam. You can just add some foam tape behind this if you just wanted to pop it up, but I had this lying around in my stash, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. So to attach it on to the piece of foam, I've used the little glue runner from Alter New. Again, one of my favorite glue pens because it works in so many ways. You could use this as a repositionable adhesive if you wanted to, but once you do push it down hard and it's in place, it will be permanent. So it's a really good all-round glue pen. So I'm just going to add this onto the front of my card base, and there we go. It's all complete. So thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed the video. Sorry for my waffling on. I hope you like the technique and that you do give it a go. It's a really easy one, and it just gives really beautiful results, kind of like that you've painted it yourself. For more videos, you can click these ones here, and if you subscribe to my channel, you won't miss any of the videos that I do upload. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye.